I think we'd like to start today. Tom, if you don't mind, would you give us an overview of TXI?
Certainly. Welcome, everybody, and thanks for having us. Texas Industries was founded in 1951 by a gentleman by the name of Mr. Ralph Rogers. Today, we're a publicly held company, and yet the family is still very heavily involved in our day-to-day activities. We have operations in Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, Colorado, and California. And we are not only in the aggregate business, but we're in the cement business, the expanded shell and clay business, ready mix, and also consumer packaged products. We have 2 large stone plants, 12 sand and gravel operations, 3 large cement facilities, and 3 expanded shell and clay, and several ready mix operations. Our employee base is about 2,000 folks. Our equipment and vehicles is about 1,000 pieces on and off road, ranging anything from the smallest little skid steer to large quarry loaders and trucks. It offers us a very diverse and opportunity for challenges because we have to operate such different pieces of equipment, and so we have a lot of unique challenges ahead. One thing I'll leave on the overview with is TXI is a very environmentally conscious company. Safety is probably our biggest focus. Our motto is we want all of our employees to go home to their families the way they came that morning, that evening. And we do a lot of things for the environment as far as reclamation, those kind of things, making sure that we leave our mine sites in better condition than when we got them.
Thank you. You know, Tom, as I think about what Mike shared with us regarding the impact of our lingering economy on the aggregate industry, I thought maybe you could share with us some of the measures TXI took to meet the challenges, and Dan, I'd like you to add comments to that as well.
Well, kind of like Mike alluded to, in 2006, the aggregate industry was just going gangbusters. We were a 24/7, 365 a day operation. We were selling as much material as we could make. Couldn't make it fast enough. We were running constantly, couldn't keep enough people. Overtime was of no issue, wherever it took to get the job done. One of the things, when business started turning in 2008, we had to take a look at what we had to offer and what we had to do to survive. As Mike had said earlier, inventories were great, so when the business did decline from that 3 billion to 2 billion, we had a lot of inventory in play, so we had a lot of decisions to make. And probably the thing that hurt us the most was our people. We had to change our mindset of how many hours we're going to run, how we're going to have those people employed, and we did have layoffs, and we hated it because I think you'll see if you ever go on our website, one of the main things we're focused on is our people. Without people, TXI doesn't exist. So we did. We had to change our mindset, have some different production hours. Now, we typically run about half the time we ran back in 06. Some other things that we did, we went to our supplier partners like Holt and others, and we asked for any kind of concessions they could give short term to help us make it through this tough times. They've been very generous, along with some of our other partners as well. But more than that, we had to actually take a look at how we were doing things. Like I said earlier, it didn't matter in 06 how we did things. If something broke, it didn't matter what the cost, we fixed it. We bought whatever component we needed, wherever we could get it, and we put it on and we got back to running. So we had to look at, okay, what is our philosophy going to be going forward? Not only on mobile equipment, but on our plant equipment too. And I think as we go forward and come out of this tough times, and times will get better again, we're going to be that much better for it. Our industry, was very profitable back in those times, and the companies that are able to make it through the tough times will come out the other end and be much better for it. But we've utilized a lot of the things that Caterpillar and Holt have brought to the table. We call them tools out of the toolbox, using your words, Butch, to help us get better, and kind of where we're at.
That's great. Dan, you have anything to add?
Just a couple of things. You know, probably the best thing that happened to us as a dealer and a supplier to TXI was Tom took time to start to investigate some of the things that they needed to do before the downturn. So as we entered into the downturn, we were already putting some things in place to not only help them look at their costs, but also look at their production, in a very minute way, electronically, like we hadn't done before. There were a lot of tools on these vehicles that many people will be ashamed to say we didn't take advantage of because of the times and as busy as we were. But today, we know more about our equipment than we ever have, and going forward, it will make a tremendous difference in the cost per ton of material moved.
Well, I can expand on that a little bit, Dan. I remember the meeting we had 3 years ago as the downturn started to come into play. We're in a meeting, we had Dan, I don't remember, Butch, if you were there or not, I think you were, as a matter of fact. And we're just sitting around our management team talking about, okay, how can we look at things to make it through these tough times that are coming on us? And Dan's sitting over in another spot away from the main group. I don't remember exactly why, but had his computer open and we were talking about payload management systems on our truck. And one of the systems that CAT offers is truck payload management systems, TPMS. And we'll just use TPMS as the acronym for now. But we got talking about that, and one of our GMs said, well, don't we have TPMS on our trucks? We had just bought this fleet in 06. So basically they were a year and a half, 2 years old. And Dan's over here doing on his computer, and he goes, what did you just say, Gary? He says, don't we have TPMS on our trucks? Dan says, yes, you do. And so that kind of was the beginning of TXI's venture into utilizing the CAT systems. What TPMS does, and I don't know if anybody's explained prior to, but it has been a fantastic tool for us. It basically tracks all of our payloads every time we go from the pit to the crusher, how many loads we're getting, and how many payload pounds are on that. When we first started calculating TPMS, I think we were around 80 tons a load. We run 100-ton trucks. So we were basically getting about 80% performance out of our units. At one location right now, we have a 3-mile round trip haul. And so if you're going to do 80 tons per load, you're giving up a lot of production. So we went on a mission, if you will, to get that to 95 tons as an average. Get us to 95% operational availability. Through TPMS, utilizing a lot of the tools that CAT offers, we've been able to get, and we are averaging 95 tons. Not only did that, make a big difference on our production per hour, with fuel costs of $3.40 a gallon right now, and these trucks using the fuel that they use per hour, it has equated to a tremendous amount of savings in dollars just in fuel expense alone.
That same software is on the loaders too, and I think over time we realized that the loaders were getting the payloads that they should or close to that. But here just recently in the last few months, Tom and his executive team decided we want to hit the mark. We're tired of the 95%. We want to hit the 100% mark. So we had to take a real hard look at that and made some modifications in different parts of the way the machine's configured. And today, I believe the reports reflect that we are not only at 100 tons per truckload as it comes up to the crusher, it's a little bit over 100 tons. So again, there's just another example of what that software can do for the customer. Provide the machines the capability of producing it the way we tell the customer that it produces.
The software that's on the loaders is called Vital Information Management System. I got that right?
Yes, you did. First up.
We had a conversation about it because we all use these acronyms, BIMS and TPMS. And, to be honest with you, up until yesterday, I didn't know what BIMS stood for. I knew
He didn't need it.
I knew what it did for us, but I didn't know what it stood for. Shame on me for that. But besides the payload on the loaders, we were able to see some deficiencies. We asked Dan and his team and Caterpillar and their team to come out and do site assessments for us. And so they come out and they look, and we are in need of some operator training. Holt has a unique individual that actually worked, I believe, at Tucson, at the proving grounds, and he is their certified CAT operator trainer now. And we've utilized him greatly. We've improved our cycle times, and we have documentation of that because of this BIM software. You know, it's one thing to go out and say you improved what you did, but to validate it and document it is the most critical element. And that's what BIM allows us to do. If I go to my boss and say, Ed, I want to do this, this, and this, and I want to spend this, this, and this, he's going to say, why? And I say, well, we want to improve our payload, we want to get better cycle times. He'll say, okay, how are you going to validate it? How are you going to document it? I say, and I'll show him the reports that we get from this tool. And then it says, okay, we'll spend the money. So we'll spend the money, whether it be an operator training or whatever it may be. And then I can go back and document that through VIMs on information, go back to my boss and say, this is what it came for us. And we can put real numbers to it. You know, if you're looking at, it's interesting, in the old days when we were running 24/7, you know, you just kept feeding the crusher. Now, so we're running, let's say, a 12-hour shift. It is imperative that we get as many tons to that crusher at 12 hours as we can. Our cost per ton depends on it. The hardest thing you can do to an aggregate facility is start and stop, start and stop. It costs you much more to start up than it does just run 24 hours a day. So it's imperative for us in that 12-hour shift to get as many tons through that crusher as we can, because then it lowers our cost per ton. So the tools that we utilize through our dealer partner and our manufacturer partner are very critical to put that in play.
One of the nicest compliments I think I can pay to TXI management is, as we all know, we can provide feedback for customers to help their employees get better. Sometimes that's received in a different way than we hoped. But in this case, the way they delivered it, it was well received by the employees, to the point where they actually come to the plant managers now and ask when Jay is going to make his next rounds for operator training. I don't know what else to say to speak more positively than that, but when they're finally asking for a little bit of help because they lose that edge, and there's a little competitiveness every now and then, by the way, when you see these reports, and your production is 5 yards below his production, and so forth and so on. No, it wasn't yours. I'm sorry. He was lower. Well, he's the one that came to that office, but it just makes that little edge that helps keep things moving forward in a positive world.
You know, it's our pleasure to bring the resources to the table from Caterpillar, because certainly getting the feedback from TXI and from our dealer partners is critical in making us a better manufacturer in ways that we help drive efficiencies in your business as best we can. And again, it might state maybe you look more favorably at us down the road, and we certainly enjoyed that, and that's part of our job. But you mentioned some of the data, the technology, the VIMs, the TPMS. Did that create a new position within TXI to gather, interpret the data?
No, actually, Butch, it's one of the things I challenged Dan with when this first came on was, we're in a downturn economy. You know, we've laid off some people in our organization. If we're going to go forward with this, it is a no added people perfect thing. And so through a lot of work through both CAT and Holt and TXI, we are totally wireless on all of our technology on our equipment. Our equipment rolls around our fleet. It hits rolls around our plant. Sorry, it hits hot spots. The information is automatically downloaded, and then a report is generated through a program called condition monitoring, and it is sent via email to us once a week. It basically recaps the last week's activities, and if we want it earlier, we can. We chose once a week because we're looking at things in a little bit bigger window. And there's probably not a day goes by that one of our management folks of the operations does not look at that and make a decision based on that information. We share that information with our employees, like Dan said, down to the operators of the trucks and the loaders. There is some competition, he's right. You know, we're running a couple loaders, 6 trucks, whatever it may be at a facility, and each truck operator knows how many tons he should average. And it's real imperative and important to him to get the most. Same thing with the loaders. So But there is no added position. Everything's done automatically. Like I say, I'll thank Kathy and Dan for meeting that challenge, because it has been a challenge personnel-wise. But one other thing, before I forget, I do want to mention one other piece of technology that has been very critical to us, is this new Vision Link, and I don't know if you guys talked about that this morning. Product Link was a good tool. It had some inherent issues, difficulties as far as availability to do things, flexibility, but it's a good program. I'm not bagging it in one form or fashion. We used it on our big pieces of equipment, but today we have went down to anything 950 size and actual above. We are putting all the Vision Link on because it offers a wealth of information. Again, it doesn't require additional people to operate it to get the data out of it. And it's already proven to be a big savings to us. And I'll just share one quick story. We purchased a new 980 at one of our expanded shell and play facilities that we put Vision Link on right off the bat. And at this point, we didn't have Vision Link on any of our 980s, and we're running about 50 of them company-wide. We put it on, and after the first 60 days, we found a very interesting circumstance. This machine was running 24 hours a day. And so we started pulling up the reports, and it took all of about 3 minutes to pull these reports. We found out that 55% of that 24 hours a day was idle time, which means it was operating at less than 1,150 RPM. So through some conversations, some operator training, we cut 4 hours a day of idle time, where that machine now is running 20 hours and is off for 4 hours. We've got some further advancements to make there, but I'll go back to that fuel cost. 340 a gallon, 330 a gallon, whatever it is a day, times 4 hours every day, 365 days a year. It's one loader at one location. It is very, very impactful. And in these times, when times are tough, when times are good, that would have never been thought about. It would have never even been considered a problem. But that's what, we do things today when times are tough. We utilize these tools so that when we do get out of it, we're going to even be a better company.
And the reason I think it's going to maintain is because in the downturn, when he challenged us and said we don't have the personnel to monitor this, give us a tool that we can look at on a regular basis. You'll still have that same tool when the economy churns back up, but you're going to be hiring personnel in the proper places, and that's run the machines to a profit.
That's right.
So having those efficiencies in place, having the operators constantly trained, so that's embedded, yeah, that will make you more efficient, and in the long term, you'll get the big gains out of it.
We're very excited. We've been able to make it through these tough times, and we're very excited about what's going to happen when the times do get better. And I can just share this, the Dallas-Fort Worth market is starting to uptick a little bit, so we're excited about that. A lot of large projects that we're involved with in that area, and Central Texas, Austin area is good too, so we're excited.
Is there any other comments you want to make about maybe how you leverage any other aspects of the dealership? Talk to us a little bit about the maintenance. Do you do your own maintenance? Do they do it for you?
I am a proponent of having an outside vendor do our maintenance, and Holt does, I'm going to say 95% of the maintenance at our aggregate facilities. The reason for that is it's very difficult anymore to hire mechanics, to hire guys that want to be lube technicians. And so we leverage Holt's service trucks, their personnel, to do all that. Pretty much all of our field work is done by our leadership as well. But not only having them do it for them doing the work, but it's also kind of helps develop that partnership where they see something that needs to be addressed, it gets taken care of, and we've had a unique relationship that way. Other leverage, and I just call him up and yell at him.
But even on those inspections for the preventative maintenance or just the quarterlies that every machine gets, we are now taking that data and figuring out a way to pull it up into a database. So I think one of the most important things I heard their operators say to us is, when we tell you something's wrong with our machines, we'd like somebody to pay attention. And this program has really made a difference. It really has you know, the backlogs are minimal compared to what they used to be, and we're fixing things, you know, when they're brought to our attention. I know that some of that had to do with the times back in 06, 7, and 8, we didn't have the time to do it. But I think the backlog system that we have in place today makes it possible to check the box and say, okay, this is good. And even have the operator come back and say, hey, thanks, I appreciate that. That leak is gone, that function seems to work okay.
The other thing I'd interject is, when times were good, I don't feel like the dealer was as engaged in our business as they are today because we didn't ask them to be. One of the things that I've tried to do since day one when I got to TXI was get our dealerships engaged in our business. I feel like they need to understand our business needs as much as we do when it comes to our fleet. And I will say that that's been probably the biggest thing. You probably know more, Dan, about our operation than you ever have.
And I think from our side, from the Caterpillar side, it's important for us to understand what your goals are and what your goals are, and collectively, and share ours with you, and then collectively come together on helping you meet your goals.
Lowest cost per hour of operating a piece of equipment, cut and dry. Easy goal.
I've heard that before. Thank
Yes, you have. Yes, you have.
Any other comments there?
No.
Tom, we certainly appreciate you coming out to ConExpo early to attend the session today. We value you as a customer, and we thank you very much for being our customer. Thanks, Dan.
Appreciate your
for,
partnership.
Coming out. Thank you, everybody.